And I can tell you right now, you are the biggest lever that is actually going to solve this problem. Okay, no one else. So for me, at the end of the day, it's not just me. I only talk lah. As I said, people shove memos at me, I sign, I come, I talk. Actually, a lot of other people, these are my heroes and heroines. Now, I want to put all these logos in the company, but actually I want you to think about, because you all work in many companies today. One is that if your company logos are not on here, and your companies do not do school adoption, or your companies do school adoption and they're not on here, okay, my interest is not you become a member of Pinta. My interest is that make sure if your company does school adoption, do it to the optimal level. Do the right things. Okay? Spend your money in the best way to help the school. Properly. Okay? So, if you want to go, I don't know. I ask this question a lot to young people. I said, when you're concerned about certain things when you're at home, when you go to and work in your company, you are the same person, right? Some people say, I work with a company, it does a certain product, it's not very good, whatever, but then I have no say. The reality of it, that's rubbish already. You have some say. So you as a person, when you go to work, you feel responsible for this, do advocacy in your company, make sure that, they do the right things too. You're part of it, you have your say. Try to influence. That's part of being a leader, actually. A leader is not a boss. A leader is someone, making sure that agenda has a right objective and find the right way to influence others, right? So this is my hero lah. There's two ladies here, Nora and Zal. I think they're not here today, but they have the email address. If you want to ask more questions, I think there's also in the brochure about it. Please contact them. These are my heroes and heroines for my Yayasan. I don't know whether they're here or not. And my trust schools. They're here? No? Okay. They're little people. Great. Datuk Norizan is like a mother to me right now. Completely. She's our education advisor. Azlan Sharom is our CEO for Yayasan Ami. See, all relatively young people. Mahiza is the COO for the Lead Ed. These are also my heroes and heroines. Kiran is here. Zamir, are you here? No? Okay. Sued? You're all working except for Kiran. Okay, now you all know. Okay, Nawa and Joanna. These are really my heroes and heroines. They are the ones who are working very, very hard. I only talk, encourage, motivate, make my coffee. Only my coffee, not theirs either. So anyway, I just want to raise one thing. Talent Corporation. I have no relationship to them in any way, in a sense, except that I know Johan Marakan very, very well, who's the new CEO of Talent Corp. At the end of the day, I know a lot of people have been talking about this, but it's not very clear. I think that one of the concerns that they have is about youth. And it's about want to nurture our youth who will be our future leaders. This is you guys as the audience. So I told him today, I said, I'm going to address you guys, so I'm just going to steal some of these things from his website and put his contact name and also his picture there. But I want to suggest to you guys this. Give feedback to them about what they can actually do and what you can do and what you should and would want to actually support what they can do. Because the reality of it, at the end of the day for me, the ingredients going to come from you guys. If you all can think like here, at the end of the day, the ingredients have to come from all of you. So if you see, I know that a lot of things that have been talked about is about getting people to return back to the country. And I think that's a perception. I think a lot of people say, bagi 50% tax. But actually, a lot of work on the ground is about number one. And you see, it is placed as number one. But of course, we are working very, very specifically on it. The reason being is this, because we said that we have to be very specific lah. Someone can be a bit generic. We talk about nurturing people and all that, but we don't really have a good way of making demand and supply actually meet. And we talk about generic stuff. So, people don't feel the impact, right? So that's why it feels quiet. Because really we are working with the industry to make sure that first we know what is the demand first, right? Okay, and then let's find out where the supply is. And then let's say, okay, if supply and demand doesn't meet, okay, how do we make sure that it developed and actually can meet? Because if we don't do that, if we start being generic again, we're still not going to get there. Right? We're just going to be investing more money and we're still not going to get there. But at the end of the day, you as a supply side got to still participate. First, really be honest. I mean, identify that gap. Right? First, your interest actually. I mean, unfortunately, this is real life too. Demand side, sometimes, it's not exactly what you think you want. Right? But, find your interest. You have to define your interest. You have to feel motivated about what you do. And then you have to identify your gap between what you can do. And then be brave to go through that development, whatever age you are, whether you're below 30 or above 50. Between 30 and 50, they're rank sikit. But, I'm kidding. But this, I think, is something that I will fully support. Not because Johan is my friend, but because of that issue just now. That Malaysia, structural changes is required, and I really feel human capital is that lever. And this is the band, and Talent Corp is spearheading this, looking at how do we get that band actually to be the power of this engine. It's not an easy job. And I guess, I'm doing the marketing, I should charge him some money for this one. Okay. Anyway, thank you for listening to me. Visit all our websites. I should have appointed someone to be my timekeeper. So, questions?
Right, the gentleman over on the right-hand side. Just stand up and introduce yourself and keep your questions short and sweet. Thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to ask you about investments. You were mentioning just now about the resorts as something of an interesting investment. But I was wondering what other projects catch your attention and how do you know which of these projects are dynamic, which of them can bear fruit, which of them will actually bring some sort of revenue to the country? I mean, how do you decide among all the investment opportunities you have, which is the ones that you should focus on, and the ones that you have focused on, can you give us some sort of rationale as to why you focused on them? Thank you.
I explain this thought process first. Okay, for us, our first thought process, we start with sectors.
Okay.
So we will look, from a country perspective, we have to make some bets, I guess, from a sector perspective. So if you go, I think we have about 14 or 15 active sectors that we look at. In each of the sector, we actually do a full sector study to look at the value chain of each of the sector. Now, we are very focused about two things. One is that if there is enough private investment in any part of that value chain, we don't go in. Because we are a government investment, then we'll be crowding out other people. Right? If there is a part of value chain that's so critical, but nobody seems to be going in because of risk, okay, we will evaluate those areas and see whether it requires an intervention. That's a catalytic part. Now, if it requires intervention, we then look at assessment with what option do we have to do this. Because we cannot just go and do if it's loss-making, for example, because we can't sustain ourselves. So most of the time what we look is either we do it in collaboration with like development run by government, one example. Second example is we do a collaboration with another party, so we even out the risk, it's an example. And we take the small return, but not big lah. That's why we make only 12% return. Formula is not 25% private equity return, right? Okay. So first is sectors. So if you go and look at our website, all our sectors, that's how we decide. Second is within the sector, we decide on a particular value chain. Now in the sector, I must admit there are about 6 or 7 are legacy sectors. Legacy sectors, we didn't have a choice. We were already given those. Okay? The country has gone in long time ago. Because Khazanah started in 1994. The new mandate was given in 2004. So within 1994 and 2004, Khazanah mandate was a custodian at that point in time, they were already being given legacy investments. So they were legacy sectors lah. But new sectors, we decide based on that. We did an assessment of sectors. We juxtapose again what would be good for the country, making a mix of what is necessary for today, what we think is necessary for the future. Make some bets lah. And then under each of it, we look at value chain, and each of the value chain, we will look at areas where it's required. But if there are already other investments, we don't go in. If there are no other investment, then we look at ways on how we can actually address that. That's basically. But then we make sure we make some returns lah, but not huge.
All right. Next question.
My name is Vima from LTT Global Communication. The question that I want to ask you is regarding the education that you spoke. You are talking on doing the preschools at the age of 10 years. Good idea. I also see you also got results on it. Once you got this result, if you make this recommendation to the government, will the government follow up on the success which you're doing? That's what I want.
You're talking about the trust schools.
Right.
What actually we have on the table is actually a framework that is an open framework, which means that it could actually be already open up and be participated to more than what we do today. But in the execution of this, we decided that let's do a pilot first. So the idea, of course, once we show success with the pilot, we demonstrate in fact, then yes, then we can open it up. Therefore there will be more of this that will be coming in. Therefore the short answer will be yes lah. But we have to be successful lah. I think I must admit, on behalf of government, implementation is key here. And it is quite daunting trying to implement everything in 10,000 schools all at one shot. And you have to do it a little bit in phase by phase, but on the other hand, we don't have much time. So how do you get traction, right? So that's why I say isolate 10 schools, show traction very quickly, then after that you can open up. And some parts of it, you don't even have to do it through PPP, you can even do it in the normal existing public schools. Just use the numbers.
Hi.
Yep.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Sheikh from Club Letter.
From, sorry?
Club Letter. Yeah, I have a question regarding you talked about education and getting connected, especially in the overseas thing, right? So my question is, we have heard about schools getting the usage of computers and the integration of internet in the curriculum altogether. So, but we haven't really seen much. So I just want to ask, from your point of view and from where Khazanah is standing, where is it still a question of when is it happening, or is it still a question of if it will happen altogether? And the second question is with your Yayasan Ame and Yayasan Pinta initiative, what are you guys doing to improve the usage of computers in the schools? Thank you.